Hello. I'm just going to be reading. Today is April the 17th, the 18th, and it's Saturday. And I'm going to be reading my daily scripture because I read the Bible chronologically. So I'm going to be starting with Psalm 17. Just want to give you a little bit of summary. Why I'm reading these Psalms is because I've been reading in First Samuel, and where um, the Israelites finally chose a king, so they chose Saul, and then Saul disobeyed the Lord, so the Lord took his spirit from Saul and gave it to someone else, and then King David was anointed by Samuel, and but as a young boy, so King Saul was still king and jealous of King David. Of David, young David, and he started at first he loved them and treated him like a son and everything. He would play the harp for Saul when Saul would feel all these evil thoughts and stuff, and they would calm him for a while. But then, as David started growing, and he was also in the military for King Saul. King David's the one that killed Goliath, and from there it was just people loving David and singing songs to David and making King Saul jealous. So King Saul would try to harm David. He was trying to kill David. Many times he threw a spear at him, and so David had to start running and hiding from King Saul. Where Jonathan, King Saul's son, and David were close friends. They even made a covenant with one another to never forget one another's family. Uh, Jonathan understood and knew that David was going to be the next king, and it wasn't going to be him or anyone in his family. So he asked David to remember him and his family, never forget any of his family members. So they made a covenant like that, and King Saul heard about it, and he knew that Jonathan favored David and would protect him. So he didn't let him know anymore how he disliked David. But it all had to do with the plan of the Lord. And I trust in the Lord and everything. And so did King David. So here is King David in Psalm 17. And he's saying, and you can read this. And like I said, I'm in First Samuel. So um, here we are reading Psalm 17. And the title of this one in my Bible, I'm reading from the New King James Version, is Prayer with Confidence in Final Salvation. And here it is, a prayer of David. Hear a just cause, O Lord. Hear, listen, attend to my cry. Give ear to my prayer, which is not from deceitful lips. Let my vindication come from your presence. Let the Lord, he'd rather be judged by the Lord, not someone else, but the Lord. Let your eyes look on the things that are upright. You have tested my heart. You have visited me in the night. You have tried me and have found nothing. I have proposed that my mouth shall not transgress concerning the works of men. By the word of your lips, I have kept away from the path of the destroyer. So he's like, I'm not going to say nothing wrong about anybody because, like I said, King Saul was after him. But he never did say bad things about King Saul. If you read in 1 Samuel, you'll see how he treated King Saul with much respect. Verse 5. Uphold my steps in your path, that my footsteps may not slip. I have called upon you, for you will hear me, O God. Incline your ear to me and hear my speech. I love the way he uses incline your ears, like when we're wanting to say something to our parent or someone, close, and we're like, come here, right? Listen to me. So, verse 7. Show your marvelous loving kindness by your right hand. I love this when they say your right hand. God's right hand is mighty. O you who save those who trust in you from those who rise up against them. Keep me as the apple of your eye. The apple of your eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings. Like a mother hen hides her chicks. From the wicked who oppress me, from the deadly enemies who surround me. They have closed up their fat hearts. Their fat hearts. Wow. Ugh. I hate to imagine a fat heart, They have closed up their fat hearts, with their mouths they speak proudly. They have now surrounded us in our steps. Verse 12. Still in 11. They have set their eyes crouching down on the earth. They're ready to pounce, right? So they're like crouching down, where nobody could see them, and so it's just like this is the way he's describing his enemies. Verse 12. As a lion is eager to tear his prey, and like a young lion lurking in secret places. 13. Arise, O Lord, confront him, cast him down. Deliver my life from the wicked with your sword. 14. With your hand from men, O Lord, from men of the world who have their portion in this life, and whose belly you fill with your hidden treasures. They are satisfied with children, and leave the rest of their possession for their babes. 15. As for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. David was happy with what he had and satisfied with what he had, because he would be more happy that whenever he leaves this world, he knows that he will see the Lord and he would be in the likeness of the Lord. He already believed in the resurrection, not the resurrection like walking alive after you've been here on earth, not on the earth, but being resurrected in heaven and being there in the presence of the Lord, and that he was going to be in the likeness of the Lord as he is in heaven. And I think that's really, really beautiful. So now I'm going to be reading in the next Psalms, and the next Psalms is Psalm 35. And it's the Lord. The title of this one is The Lord, the Avenger of His People. Also a Psalm of David. And it starts out verse 1. Plead my cause, O Lord, with those who strive with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Verse 2. Take hold of shield and buckler, and stand up for my help. And also draw out the spear, and stop those who pursue me. Say to my soul, I am your salvation. Verse 3. Wow. Say to my soul. God, he's saying, God, you speak to my soul and say, I'm your salvation. Verse 4. Let those be put to shame and brought to dishonor who seek after my life. Let those be turned back and brought to confusion who plot my hurt. Verse 5. Let them be like chaff before the wind, and let the angel of the Lord chase them. Wow. Let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let the Lord deal with them. He's saying he's not trying to deal with anybody, his enemies. He's saying, God, you take care of it. You handle it. Verse 6. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord pursue them. That's beautiful. I love that. Verse 7. For without cause they have hidden their net for me in a pit, which they have dug without cause for my life. He's like, they don't have any reason to be chasing after me, Lord, but they're chasing after me, and you, Lord, take care of me. This is a long one, Psalm 35. Verse 8, let destruction come upon him unexpectedly, and let his net that he has hidden catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall. Verse 9, and my soul shall be joyful in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation. Verse 10, all my bones shall say, Lord, who is like you, delivering the poor from him who is too strong for him. Yes, the poor and the needy from him who plunders him. All my bones shall say. That is beautiful, the way David would speak about the Lord. 11. Fierce witnesses rise up. They ask me things that I do not know. 12. They reward me evil for good, to the sorrow of my soul. 13. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer would return to my own heart. 14. I paced about as though he were my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one who mourns for his mother. He's talking here like the persons, his enemies are like close friends, someone close to him, and he would care for them and everything. And so just listen to the rest of this. 15, but in my adversity, they rejoiced and gathered together. Attackers gathered against me, and I did not know it. They tore at me and did not cease. With ungodly mockers at feast, they gnashed at me with their teeth. That's how his enemies were. And these were close. His enemy at the time was King Saul, and King Saul's you know, the people that were his right hand man, his military man, but they all knew David. They all knew David since he was a young boy. So they would be sitting around having a feast, and they'd be bad mouthing him and planning to do things against him. Verse 17, Lord, how long will you look on? Rescue me from their destructions, my precious life from the lions. 18, I will give you thanks in the great assembly. I will praise you among many people. I like this because David allows us to hear that we can ask the Lord, how long, Lord? How long? Because that sometimes we feel like that. How long are we going to go through this, right? But it's awesome to see that the Lord will let us, for there's a reason for everything. Because as you read 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel, you will find how the Lord protected David. Verse 19, let them not rejoice over me who are wrongfully my enemies, nor let them wink with their eye who hate me without a cause. For they, verse 20, for they do not speak peace, but they devise deceitful matters against the quiet ones in the land. 21, they also opened their mouth wide against me and said, aha, aha, our eyes have seen it. Like they were there lying. They were like, when people wink, when they wink like that, it's not always a good sign, right? That means we're being deceitful in a way. And they're like saying, they even make you fun, like, aha, I got you doing something and you didn't do nothing wrong. They're just trying to be deceitful and trying to get you in trouble. And that's what he says his enemies were doing against him. Verse 22, this you have seen, O Lord. Do not keep silent. O Lord, do not be far from me. Verse 23, stir up yourself and awake to my vindication, to my cause, my God and my Lord. I love this, the way he's talking to the Lord. He's like, come on, Lord, you know the truth. You've seen it. You see what's going on. Um, Verse 24, vindicate me, O Lord my God, according to your righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me. Verse 25, let them not say in their hearts, ah, so we would have it. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up. Like, don't let them think that they did, they got me over, like they did it, like they hurt me. Don't let them think like that. In verse 26, let them be ashamed and brought to mutual confusion who rejoice in my hurt. Let them be clothed with shame and dishonor who exalt themselves against me. Like, he's not saying, like, let me hurt them, let me do them wrong. He says, God, you let them feel this for themselves. Let them feel ashamed. And that's true. That's the way we need to be. We need to ask the Lord, you make them feel ashamed for what they're doing against me. Verse 27. Let them shout for joy and be glad who favor my righteous cause, and let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, who has pleasured in the prosperity of his servant. Verse 28, and my tongue shall speak of your righteousness and of your praise all the day long. And that's how he ended it, because he says, let those that are also seeing also praise you, Lord God, because you took care of me and you protected me, Father God. You are so beautiful and you are so wonderful, Lord God, because that's what we can do. We can talk to you about, anything, and we don't have to avenge ourselves. You vindicate us, Lord God, right? Thank you. I'm going to be reading the next one will be Psalm 54.